Alright, howdy everybody, and welcome to another video brought to you by VintageElectronicsGeek.com. I'm your host, Jack. I am the hostess with the mostest. Hey, look, today we're going to talk about this video camera. This is a Sony CCD-TRV65. It is a high 8 video camera from the year of 1998. It sold for $800. And it is a really cool camera. Here not too long ago when my central air conditioning went out to run away from the 100 plus degrees we were having at the end of August, beginning of September there, we ended up going to the coast for a weekend. And that was fantastic. I recommend that to anybody. Everybody, run away to the coast. Specifically, we went to Fort Bragg, California. And at the end of this review, I will have some video from that trip. Now, I do apologize up front. My sample video may be a little bit longer than anticipated, but hopefully it'll give a overall feel for how this camera produces in the year of 2017. I'm not going to do a complete overview review of this camera. The owner's manual is available, download on the interwebs, and I would strongly suggest you do that if you are inclined to study everything about this camera. We will hit a few key areas, and basically that's it. We'll spend the majority of the time looking at the sample video, which is really where I think the money is on the camera. When I do when I do research on cameras, to me that is a big deal. What does it produce? And so that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and hit some key subjects, the basics of this camera. Camera is touted at 72x. Of course, that's digital. It is strongly not recommended for anybody on any camera, regardless of its recording media, whether it's digital tape or with a potato. It makes no difference. Don't go digital. Digital sucks. I generally, where the option is, turn off digital, and I only do optical. Optical on this, I believe, is either 10x or 12x. On this side of the camera, we have our on-off switches. We can go to power, which will allow you to start taping, and on this side we go to VTR. VTR stands for videotape recorder. So you can review the tape you just recorded and go from there. Down below here we have our fader control. We have a control here so we could do manual focus. This little switch here will go from auto to manual, and then when you are in manual, if you're having a hard time finding your focus point, you just bump this down. It'll automatically find your focus point, providing you have proper lighting and proper contrast points. It'll go ahead and find that focus point for you. You release, and there you go. Now you're in manual focus. This is really cool. A lot of cameras, consumer-grade cameras, don't have that feature. You generally won't find that feature until you get up into your 3 CCD chip cameras, and this is a single chip camera. It does offer steady shot. Take that for a grain of salt. I always run it in steady shot. I don't know what it's like otherwise, but generally it's a lot more shakier than what you find in steady shot. Generally, I do not do handheld shots anymore, or at least I minimize as much as I can my handheld shots, and everything I do is tripoded or monopoded at a minimum. I always try to go for a smoother video when possible. Of course, I know that's not always possible. We have a control switch right here, which will go from your normal vision to night vision. And this is a 0 lux camera. 0 lux means nighttime, pure black, pitch black. You don't need any ambient lighting whatsoever for it to work. One nice thing about this camera and earlier cameras of this vintage is the night vision on this is very powerful. A lot of perverts found out, hey, That is really cool. Now, I'm not going to explain to you how to become a pervert. I'll leave that purely up to you. But they were able to find out how to make this see-through clothing. Once that became well known in the market, Sony decided to turn down the amount of night vision. And so because of such, these older cameras can go for a pretty penny. So if you really want to be a pervert, you're going to pay for it. Up underneath here is our flippy-outy wing. This is really nice, has a lot of nice tension. Before we get to the wing, we have our LCD brightness and we have our volume control for our speaker. And I do apologize, I guess I could have bumped the camera in so you could have seen those controls a little easier. And there you go. Here we have our LCD screen, which does a full one of those things. And that's it. As you can see, it is a very thick, very fat LCD screen. Up underneath here we have our controls for date, time, counter reset, mode switch, display, titler, and search, menu, picture effect, and under this door is a monster. No, it's your battery, your button battery. On the back side here we have our backlighting control, program, exposure, and then our jog wheel / control. You push that in and you have gives you another little sub menu, or whatever. Leave me alone. I'm busy trying to talk to you. I always found this lug strap to always be in the way of this control. I don't know really where they could have put it, but it's always in the way. Our periscope does pop up, and it's made out of ABS plastic. This one does not slide out, only up. Color viewfinder on this little guy. Battery, that's your standard, whatever battery this is. Battery release switch. This is battery pack 550. As you can see, this is an aftermarket. Who really cares? Up underneath here is your AC / charger plug. Our other lug. We have our lock switch. That way you don't accidentally hit the record button, and then when you're ready to record, you flippy light there, and there you go. Our LANC control switch. Let's try that again. Our LANC jack, and what that does is it allows you to have a control out on the away from the body of the camera on your control arm. It's escaping my brain at the moment, and that way you don't have to sit here and fiddle with the camera. You could do it off body, and I generally do that. I don't like fiddling with the body. Well, it depends on what she looks like. Then I'm going to fiddle all I want. I'm going to fiddle like a fiddler. Okay, we have our eject button with our little safety switch. Our tape door. Top here we have our LAN control switch, and not our LAN control, our laser link control. I do have laser link control. I've never used it, but I do have the receiver. And basically what that does is, instead of taking the tape out, putting it into your VCR, or running cables from here to your VCR to record, you could do it wirelessly. We have our edit search up here, and then our zoom in, zoom out right here. Up underneath here, we have our ports for our S connect, our RCA connect, our video left and right channels, and then our RFU. RFU is Sony has a jack that goes to this, and I have somewhere. It plugs into here, into these 3 ports, and then you could connect a 75 ohm coax cable from it to your TV or VCR and then record/watch that way. And right here we have our headphone jack. So you could monitor as you record. I try to do that. Unfortunately, on these cameras, the audio output on this is not very loud, so your ambient noise is going to drown out the headphones. It's all intents and purposes, it's not practical. Microphone, external microphone jack. Here we have our two microphones. Our sticker that does declare that is 0 lux. And we have a 37mm lens thread. Now you can see here I do have a metal lens hood and I have a UV filter in line. I try to use these 2 devices when plausible. Up underneath here you can see we actually have a manual shutter control. Helps protect your lens. As I stated, I like to have these 2 devices on here as first lines of defense. I would rather, if I'm going to destroy anything, you know, the metal lens cover, or you know, the $5 piece of glass right here that you could swap out anytime. That's a lot easier to replace than your lens. Up top here we have a hot, or actually they call it a smart shoe. As you can see, when you push it back, it has electrical contacts, but if you don't have any device that is a smart device, it's a standard cold shoe. What you put up underneath here is a light, which I do have, and a microphone, which I also have. When you turn the camera into VTR mode, you're presented with this lovely blue screen, which I'm sure we're all accustomed to seeing. One nice thing about this camera, when you have it in VTR mode, when you're playing back your videotapes, this camera does offer a TBC and DNR. DNR is digital noise reduction, and the TBC is time-based corrector. And what that means for you, those that are not in the know, TBC will help stabilize your video. So you got anything jittery, or your skewing from your track is off a little bit, bad tape, something like that. This is your first line of defense as far as trying to fix your bad tape. And this is what the screen looks like when you have it in video record mode. Now, taking this out to use this screen, I do not know if it's because it's vintage, maybe it's getting a little tired. I found in bright sun it was kind of washed out. The lights were overblown, the darks were dark, and it was kind of challenging to see in direct sun. When I use the camera, I do have a lens hood cover, or an LCD cover that I use on all my cameras, and by doing that, that definitely helped allow me to see this out in direct sun. If you don't have direct sun, you got setting sun, or you don't have the sun directly in your eyeballs, it's a lot easier to see, but it's better if you do have an LCD cover. And I'm doing this because essentially that's what it does. It covers your screen. Now you can purchase those off of eBay if you so desire. Just look for your screen size. One size might fit different size screens. I have 3 of them, and that for the most part covers me pretty well. This is your standard def camera. It is not HD, but this one does shoot in 16:9, so up-resing it to a 720 or a 1920 1080 is very plausible, very easy to do. To eject the basket, you just simply push this little blue button down here, the safety, and pull it down, and there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward and let's watch the sample video from this. Again, I do apologize. I'm just going to try to make one video as opposed to two separate videos. Here's a camera review. Here's a sample. Again, I know when I go to review, I prefer to have everything into one video as opposed to trying to hunt down multiple videos, especially if I'm viewing somebody's video from 14 years ago and they got 18 million videos. It's rather challenging. So I will include everything. I used two of these tapes. These were new old stock. I always try to use new tapes. I never record on same tape more than once, not unless it is a test tape. Then I'll record on it until I blow the thing up. I try to provide you, the viewer, what the video camera does as far as a consumer stance is concerned, meaning no external microphones, no extra tweaking in post-production, no extra tweaking in the camera settings. But honestly, it's very challenging for me to do, considering I am a camera geek. It's just challenging. So the video that you're about ready to watch has absolutely no post-production done to it whatsoever, with the exception of, yes, I did upscale it from its native, whatever screen resolution it was, 720 by whatever, to the full 1080 by 1920. That's the only post-production I did. In body, in camera, the only manipulation I did outside of putting this lens hood on it and the UV filter was I adjusted the exposure per my setting, and I adjusted the white balance in body. That's it. Everything else is out of body. The audio, I almost forgot about the audio. Knowing I'm going to be down at the coast, knowing I'm going to have heavy wind, I did utilize a shotgun microphone. I did not use on-body mics at all. Shotgun microphone, I did not use the Sony microphone. I did use a third-party microphone plugged into the mic jack. Third-party microphone does have wind canceling feature on it, so one reason I used that, and I knew it was going to be a hotter mic than what the Sony microphone offered internally and externally. Otherwise, sit back, enjoy my long-winded video. Hope you could stay, grab some popcorn, rub the cat. I don't know what that means, popcorn part anyway. Enjoy, and thank you for watching.
That's jumped pretty high.
Sorry, Sony's really
Stop! All stop! I can hear them tuning up. Sorry, we're making more.
Okay, then shoot, I'm sitting down. Thanks. I thought it was awfully early. I thought they said 10:30 in the paper.
Pacific Road.
I like your hat.
Is your mother fussing?
That makes it look really cool. Caballero.
The beast is.
You know, if you've got a spare $3,000, you can have your own cape that you can use again and again.